Tonight I'm going to be making something really fast, and this is my blueberry compote. That just means a blueberry sauce. I have a generous cup, 1 cup of fresh blueberries, 6 tablespoons of water, 4 teaspoons of regular white sugar, that's granulated sugar, and 4 teaspoons of lemon juice. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. So I've got my little hot plate set up, it's getting nice and warm. I'm going to get my pot on there. And the first thing I'm going to do is get that water in there, and that's just going to act like a little buffer for my blueberries. If I take my blueberries and just dump them in right into the pot, they're going to stick on there, they're going to burn a little bit, and I don't want that. So just get them in there. You want to be really nice and gentle, give some love to those beautiful berries. And there we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let these start breaking down. So I'm going to get my heat going. I want to get some heat introduced into the berries and have them break down. So I'm going to let that go for a little while, and I'll come back in maybe about 3 minutes or so. Okay, this is about literally 3 minutes after I said that I would come back, and you can already see that these are really breaking down very, very quickly. So at this point now, I'm going to really lower my heat, because I want to break them down really slowly. And I'm just going to let that go for maybe another minute or so. So I'm just going to let that go, and I'll come back. Okay, this is about a minute later. This is looking really, really nice. So at this point, I'm going to take all of my sugar and get that in there. And we'll just give that a nice little stir. And there we go. And now I'll let that go another minute or so. I just want to get the sugar, really well dissolved in there, and just let it kind of make friends with the blueberries. Okay, so that's another minute. I did actually put a timer on, and I'm going to pour in all of our lemon juice now and just give that a nice little stir. Now, the longer you simmer this down, the thicker this is going to get. But right now, this is extremely hot, so it's very, very liquidy. So it depends on, how thick you want it. This has quite a bit of liquid in it still, so I'm just going to let this go for just a little while longer, maybe about 2 minutes. I'm going to increase my heat. Every time I do this, it's slightly different. Same recipe, but I just want this a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to let that go. So I'll let it go for about another 2 minutes. You can see it's coming up to a nice little simmer there. Let that go, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Alright, so I let this go on simmer for about another 2 minutes. I've turned my element off now, so the heat has stopped. It's still very hot though, but you can see that it's a little bit less liquidy. Extremely hot though, so when this cools down, it's going to get more thick. What you can do, if you're new to making this and you don't know how to actually test it, leave it in your pot and let it completely cool down. Once it's cool, check to see how liquidy or how thick it is, and if it's still a little bit too thin, then you can simply just put it back on your stove and just bring it up to a simmer again and let it go for another 2 minutes, which will extract more of the moisture, and then when it cools down, it will be a little bit thicker. If you find that it was a little bit too thick, then what you can do is you can just add a little bit of water, just bring it up to a fast simmer, for a minute, and turn it off, and then that will thin it out. So, instead of pouring it out right away, just leave it in your pot until it's cool, and then you can check it that way. Once you know that that's, you look at it and you say, yep, that's perfect, then you can take it and put it into another container. So that's how you make a very, very fast blueberry compote, un compote de bleuet. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.